Thank you guys for stopping by. I know this is my Zoom page, but when Jessica reached out and said everybody could use a little pick me up, I was down for the count. I was like, let's do it. I am Marie Triplett. I am the author of the book, Check Up From Your Neck Up, 52 Weekly Mantras to Live Your Best Life. Hold on, now I got to go get one so you can see what it looks like. I wrote a book, y'all. Check Up From Your Neck Up, 52 Weekly Mantras to Live Your Best Life. It is a guided journal for a whole year. It would be perfect because it's January the 13th if you guys are, or December the 13th if you guys are looking to maybe shift your mindset in January and run for a year. There are basically 52 of my best life lessons that I've experienced over the course of my 40 years in existence. And I was surprised at how this book wasn't enough. Like I could probably write another one already because 2020 gave me a whole year of additional mantra and mindset things that I could put in this book. And if you've had the chance to check it out, thank you guys for all of your support. But also, more importantly than thank you for your support, I hope it's helping. I hope that you have started to use it and check in with it and you're finding value in it, because I didn't write this book for me. This is everything I've already learned. I wrote this book for the people that I came in contact with that were struggling with things that I used to struggle with and now I don't. And so in addition to being an author, I am also a purple status presenter with Younique. I've been with the company since January 20th of 2015. That is my math skills. 6 years. I'll be celebrating 6 years in January. So I've been around the block. I've been through all the things, the ups, the downs, and I do a lot of public speaking and mindset training specifically when it comes to Younique. I could teach you a cut crease. I could teach you how to contour and how to slay your brows. But ultimately, I feel the make or break thing about this business is your mindset. And sometimes we get so distracted by the technique that we lose sight of what matters most. And 9 times out of 10, every battle you face in this business is going to be mindset based. Most of the other things are figure outable. So how do we unprogram ourselves and how do we get ourselves to a healthier mindset to be successful? Right, so that's what I do for everyone. And if you follow me on Facebook, you know every Monday I do the Monday mantra and we have a little checkup from your neck up to start the week. So if you're not already following me, you are welcome to follow me. I do mindset stuff every Monday morning, and now I feel like I've turned into an infomercial about all the great things that I've done. So let me get off my high horse and get to business because you guys got lives to live. When I was thinking about what I wanted to say, my spirit kept telling me to just tell you this story. It's a real life story. My husband and I have been married for 19 years. And we got couple friends. If you've been married, sometimes you pair up with other couples and you become couple friends. And so we had a couple friend that we had like been couple friends with for a decade, 10 years. And we had babies together. We had baby showers together. Like I threw her baby shower. She threw me a baby shower. We were really good friends, right? But our husbands were really good friends. They would go golfing together. You know, her kids were like my kids. I was like an honorary aunt to their family, and they were like honorary aunts and uncles to my family. So if you've ever been in a long-term relationship and you had another couple that you were like that with, then you understand the dynamic of that friendship. It was just a really close mutual run. Everybody was running on the same timeline. We were going to have kids together. They were going to school together, all that stuff, right? And 3 years ago, she comes to me, my friend, well, they were both my friends. I loved them both, and I loved all 3 of their kids. She comes to me 3 years ago and she says, I think I'm going to leave my husband. We haven't been happy for a really long time. And I think it's just time for me to go. Well, and immediately I was like, did you go to counseling? Like, what have you done? And she was just like, nope, that's it. And she left him like almost on the spot. And it felt like overnight. Obviously she was my best friend at the time, so I was like, I'm gonna be there for you, you know, if you need me, whatever. I'm totally down. I'm like, I was babysitting the kids. She was dropping them off for overnighters sometimes. And then as they started to kind of break up, and she moved out, then they were sharing the kids every other weekend. And so every other weekend she was going out and drinking, and I would be trying to go with her, but I was still married. And it was just like this interesting dynamic where she started living a different life than I was living. So I was watching it and thinking, you know, and while we were out, there were things that she was doing that I was not doing, because hello, I'm a loyal and faithful wife. And she was, you know, and I wasn't, no judgment for sure, but our priorities were not aligned anymore. And what was slowly starting to happen, I hope you guys can relate to this story. What started to happen was I started to question my relationship with my husband because of the problems that she was having in her relationship and sharing with me. So I'll give you an example. She would talk about how her husband didn't do something for her or didn't give her something. And then I would start to look for ways that my husband was doing that. And it was causing my marriage to suffer because she was going through a divorce and I was reflecting all of the things that she was talking to me about. And I was starting to look for those things. And part of me was kind of envious that she had this new freedom. Every weekend, I was still doing kid stuff, I was still at soccer. Every week, you know, I was going to work and coming home and cooking dinner, and she was going out for happy hour. So there started to be this like dissension within myself and my own marriage, because I was I was attracted to everything that she was doing in that moment. And there was, I don't even know how else to explain it. I've been married for 19 years. So I'm like, it was like a whole new world to me. Like I was Ariel and she had, you know, dingle hoppers. And I was like, yeah, I want dingle hoppers. And so it was just like this, it caused this disconnect with me and my husband, because I belonged married in the ocean with my husband, not walking amongst the people. Does that make sense? I really hope that makes sense, because this analogy works for me in my brain, and sometimes I go off on tangents. But I had to sit down and ask myself after a while, and a couple of months go by and my husband and I are just, I had to sit down and ask myself, why isn't this working? And when I slowed down enough to think about it and evaluate my behavior, I realized that maybe I wasn't doing enough for our relationship. I wasn't showing up for the relationship the way I used to. So some of the reason why I was feeling the way I was feeling was because I had pulled away. Like I wasn't doing little things like putting notes in his lunchbox. I wasn't even making his lunch anymore. Okay, so I had really withdrawn on my level of effort into the relationship. And then I was picking him apart because I was comparing it to my friend's relationship. And once I had that epiphany, it transformed our marriage. Once I realized that part of the reason why our marriage wasn't working is because I wasn't giving it what I used to give it, I was able to course correct and start showing up for my husband in a way that honored the commitment I made to him. There is no coincidence I'm telling you this story, but I wanted to be authentic and explain it in a way that truly connected, because I think as women, we resonate with this idea of a relationship, and with marriage specifically. I think the reason why a lot of marriages don't work and end up failing is because people, one, we have a short attention span. We have shiny ball syndrome. We just do naturally. The average person only has a 6-second attention span. So we are easily, I can't even make it to that room without forgetting what I walked into it for. So my attention span is like ding, 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 as you can tell from this training. But we are easily distracted by shiny objects. And then also you add in all these other things about relationships that's a lot like this business. It can really wear on you. But when I think about the people that have made their marriages work, they did a couple of things. And the way that I've made my marriage work, I stopped hanging out with that friend so much. And it wasn't because I didn't love her, and it wasn't because I didn't value her as a person anymore. It was just because our interests were no longer mutually aligned. And people come into your life for a reason, season, and lifetime. And I was sad that we weren't running together the same way, but I understood that she needed to make some choices to get healthier in her own space, and I could just let her do that. It didn't mean that she loved me any less. It didn't mean that I loved her any less. But we just had to I had to start protecting my marriage. I also had to start doing more in my marriage. And I think a lot of people expect marriage to be romance and proposals and all the things you see on the Lifetime channel. And that's not real marriage. Real marriage is when, after you've been together over a year or so, and they start farting, and they start leaving their underwear on the floor, and they start eating their chicken weird. That's when the real marriage starts, because that's when the commitment begins. That's when it's not good. Like they say in your marriage vows for a reason, through sickness and health, good times and bad times, because without fail you will have bad times. But a lot of people feel like the moment they have bad times, it's a sign that the relationship is bad. And that's not always true. So I think a lot of relationships end, one, because we have a short attention span, two, because we slowly start putting in the work and going on date nights, and three, because we really feel like we're, sorry, somebody just walked by my window and it totally distracted me, but we really feel like we are going to have a better option once the romance fizzles and we actually have to work. And we think work means problems, and we think a bad situation equals a bad relationship. That's where I was going with that. So I hope you guys are following along with that, because ultimately when I say that unique is a relationship paralleled to a marriage, I truly believe that. And I think that right now our country, I've been watching too much political stuff that my brain is fried. I think our company is in this interesting place where you are going to have friends that are divorcing their relationship with the company, and you have to decide if that relationship is worth your marriage, because you didn't make a commitment to that person that left the company. You made a commitment to yourself and to your business that you partnered with. And that might, I hope that really resonates with you, because a lot of people are making choices about their business and their financial situation because of feelings about another friend's choice. Okay? And I don't mean that as a negative thing, because I bless and release anybody, just like I did with my best friend. She had to go out there and figure out her own path. You are going to meet so many people in this business. I've been doing it for almost 6 years in January. And people have come in and they've gone, and they've come in and they've gone. That will not change. Okay, so if you understand that, right, it's just like your circle of friends. You're going to have new best friends throughout the phases in your life, because I don't have the best friend now that I had 10 years ago, and I'm like 8 best friends beyond where I was in high school. Okay, so people are going to come in and out of your life. They're going to influence you, they're going to impact you, they're going to encourage you, they might even lift you up. But you cannot attach your relationship to their horse. And you want to make sure that you're using your relationships, your friends' relationships, in a healthy way, and that they are inspiring you to stay true to your commitment. I want to surround myself with people that encourage me and uplift me to stay true to what I truly want. And at the end of the day, what I truly want is a long marriage, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. I don't want to get a divorce. I don't want to start over. I don't want to get back on Tinder and start like dating profiles and networking and going out at the bars and having to stay up until 2 a.m. just to maybe meet my soulmate. I'm good right here. The grass is greener where you water it. And the same, if you are feeling like, well, maybe it's time to go, I just want you to like leave unique. I just want you to ask yourself if your relationships are negatively impacting the commitment you made to this business when you clicked join. Because you didn't click join intending on divorcing this company. You clicked join with the intention of getting Black status, of making 6 figures, of empowering your family financially. Those were the commitments you made when you joined this company. And ask yourself if the relationships you have are calling you away from that, because those aren't the kind of relationships you need. Okay? Ask yourself if you are emotionally invested in someone else's choices and they have no impact on how much money you make. If somebody above you in this business left, they have no impact over how much money you're making. Okay? That's the facts. It might be that you've stopped doing the things that you were doing when you first joined, and you were full of energy and romance, and you were going on dates, and you did, movie night with popcorn every Friday. That's how you treated your relationship when you were first in it. And slowly you start like getting into bed without even brushing in your teeth, getting in the bed without even brushing your teeth. Okay, we all turn into a little Shrek and Fiona after we've been in a relationship for a while. This business, the real part of this business, is not Lord Farquaad and Fiona's princess self. It's what they look like as ogres. It's the dirty parts. It's the messy parts. It's the showing back up after you failed and you didn't hit your promotion parts. But we stop doing the things that got us that success. And then we start thinking, because our other people have gone on to marry, date other people, that's what we want. And if we actually stop to ask ourselves if that's true, I can't say for most people that it is. I think it's a combination of surrounding yourself with people that are moving on into a different direction that you don't want to go in, not doing as much work as you used to do, and being so distracted by all the glitter and gold on Facebook that you've forgotten why you're here. And that's how I've made it 6 years. I keep wanting to say 7. 7's my lucky number. That's how I've made it 6 years. I was at Green for 3 years, you guys. For 3 years, I did not promote in this business when everyone else was promoting. I wanted to walk away 1,000 times. And I know some people would tell you you shouldn't feel like you should walk away. That's not true. There are plenty of times when I've wanted to walk away. Just like there have been times when I've wanted to walk away from my husband. And I've had to sit myself down and have a real conversation with myself about what I'm doing, how I'm showing up for this business, and if I still can make it work. And I know that I can because I'm in love with my business. I'm in love with our mission. I'm in love with our products. I'm in love with my sisterhood and my team. So I could get caught up in so and so doing so and so with so and so. I could get caught up in the minute details of, products being delayed or not shipping as fast as I wanted to do. But the truth is, I'm still in love with my business. So when I'm talking to people that are making choices to move on, I am just wishing them the best because they're on a journey, but I'm on a journey. And I know what my journey looks like because I made that commitment to myself. And I could not look myself in the mirror every day knowing that I didn't give this relationship 1,000% of me. And that's what I would encourage you to do. If you are on the fence about leaving, or if you are thinking about whether or not this business is right for you, what does it hurt to give it 30 days of everything you've got? Like, show up as your best self. Act like you're trying to get engaged to that guy and you're doing all the wifey things. You're making him breakfast in the cute little heels. You're taking him out to the movies. You're doing all the things. You got your makeup on and your parts shaved. You're doing all the things. Okay? Apply that same mindset to this business, and I promise you at the end of 30 days, you will feel healthier and happier in your relationship with Younique. Start shaving the things. Start getting in the messenger. I know that's a weird analogy, but we're ladies here. We get it. Okay? Put on the cute bra for your business. I'm a mindset person, but I'm also real. So this is who I am. I don't sugarcoat it. So if you were expecting that, I'm sorry. That's probably why they haven't asked me to be in the catalog yet, because I got a potty mouth and I drop a lot of F-bombs. Because these lips should be in the catalog. We can all agree. That's it. That's all I had to say. I just wanted to remind you guys that you signed up. When you signed up, there was a part of you that was so excited and in love with this journey. And life can be hard, especially it's 2020. Oh, life can be hard. Everyone on here could be saying amen right now. Hallelujah. 2020 freaking sucks. Okay? It's in our tough times that we fortify our relationships, that we fortify our commitments. And think about it just like if you were in a job. Okay, if you were working a job, which we all know this is more than a job, but let's just say you were working a job and you were enjoying what you were doing, but the person in the cubicle down the row had decided to put in their letter of resignation, and they were your lunch companion, right? You met at the coffee machine every day. You loved hanging out with that person. I'm not saying that we don't love the people that leave this business, because I've loved every single one of the people on my team that's left the business. I'm not going to leave the business just because they're coming and going. So remember, reason, season, lifetime. It's so important. And it might be when you see people leaving, it's to free you from your attachments to them. Like if your upline left, and you were in their message box every day, it might be because the universe is asking you to force you to grow up into the leader that you're supposed to be, and stop leaning on your leader and stop looking for somebody else to give you the answer. It might be as you're seeing these people leave, this is what I think. When I'm seeing these black statuses leave, because I know what you're thinking, I know how you're feeling. I see these black status ones leaving. I see these black statuses leaving. I see these purple statuses leaving, and it looks like whatever they're doing is really exciting. You know what I think? I don't think, oh, maybe I should leave too. I think that spot just opened up. And I'm not even kidding you. There are Black statuses leaving. I'm like, that spot is for me now. I'm going to slide up into that spot. I'm going to be the one. I'm purple right now. I want to be Black. I want to get up to the top. When I see people leaving, I'm thinking that's an opportunity. That's a chance for me to move into that spot. If somebody on your downline leaves, promote someone under them. Boost them up from a leadership standpoint. Let's just say you're a leader. Maybe you've got a couple people under you and somebody decides to leave, and it was somebody you thought was valuable. I'm just going to keep going until you guys tell me to stop. Somebody you thought was valuable on your team left. It can feel like you've been gutted. I had an elite leave right after the trip in February, and I felt gutted and I felt betrayed. But you know what I did? Instead of sitting around thinking about the hole that it created, I started looking for someone to replace her with. Okay? I started looking for somebody to dig in with and promote. Right? So when you see people leave, that's a space for us. That means that there's room at the table. And I still have my end goal to get to Black status. So until I hit that goal, I'm not moving on. That is my goal. No matter how much money I make along the way, yes, we all need to make some money, but no matter how much money I make along the way, my goal is Black status. That was my goal. So I'm not quitting. I don't know how. I don't know. That's just where I'm at in my business. But this is where I wanted to finish this off because it's been 30 minutes and I know y'all got busy lives. It's Sunday. Y'all trying to relax. I've already had a half a bourbon, so cheers. One of the things that saved me from divorcing my husband, essentially, was finding new friends who were going in the same direction I was going, that were in happy relationships, that loved their husband, that every time I was around them, they weren't talking shit about their husband. It allowed me to kind of remember how good my husband was, because when I was out away from him, they were loving on their husband, so then I could love on my husband. And when I had that, it changed my relationship, like completely saved it. The same thing is going to be like that with your unique business. If you've been feeling frustrated, if you've been feeling tempted, if you've been wavering in your confidence at any level, my best advice for you is to start surrounding yourself with people that are going where you're going. Where do you want to be? Those people were going together. Okay, so look for the leaders that are still showing up in their business. And I invited my team on here because I thought maybe you guys could see some new names. Anybody on my team that shows up obviously cares about their business. You guys could see some names and start to make new connections. How are you filling that void? Like when someone leaves, how are you filling that space? Okay. Ask yourself that. What kind of people are you going to surround yourself with? When I started hanging out less with my friend, I didn't want to replace her with another friend that was also single trying to run the bars all night long. Because first of all, I'm tired. I don't have a bra on after 8 p.m. Okay. I don't stay up late anymore. I need my beauty rest. This is my money maker. I don't want to have puffy eyes tomorrow and a hangover. I got work to do. Okay, she was in a different place. Same thing with your business. Can you find a pacing partner, somebody that's ready for the next promotion you're ready for? And then you guys can strategize, and then you can dream build, and you can bounce energy off of each other. But in the same way, you can get a positive boost from somebody that's optimistic and excited. You can totally be drained by somebody that's not. So protect your energy. If 2020's taught us anything, it's how important our energy is, because the mindset has to be right in order to survive. Same thing for this business. All right, That's pretty much all I had. I've got a lot of girls on my team. If you guys are looking for pacing partners, you know, new pacing partners or anything like that, feel free to reach out. I've got blues, I've got pinks, I got yellows, I got greens ready to go for orange. So whatever level you are, I've got people on my team that still are in this business. So I'd be happy to connect you with some better relationships. And I would also like to open it up for questions for a few minutes if you guys got personal things you want to talk about and ways that your mindset could use a little boost. I don't want to just preach and run. So you can either leave them in the comments or you can unmute yourself and come on here. I've been recording, so I will also save this to my team's YouTube page and then share the link with Jessica, and she can make sure that everybody that was on here got it. You are absolutely welcome. My pleasure, Kara. I'm so grateful to remind you guys of how important your relationship is. There are people that want to see you win and that know that you have this potential, and I think ultimately you know that you can do this. Don't doubt that. Don't start wavering your commitment because other people are wavering in theirs. Nobody has any questions? I'm gonna finish this bourbon then.
I have one, Marie.
Yes, Janet.
How do you start? Like, I don't even know where to start. I need to, like, declutter my life.
Mm-hmm. One room at a time. One room at a time. That's my best advice. Sometimes when we think I want to declutter my life, we get overwhelmed by the magnitude of doing all the things that we end up doing nothing because we're frustrated or we're scared or we're procrastinating and self-sabotaging because it feels like an overwhelming task. So what I like to say is start with the dishes. Once you do the dishes, then you can wipe down the counters. Once you wipe down the counters, then you can clean out the microwave. Once the microwave's cleaned out, then you can sweep the floors. And once the floors are swept, then you can take out the trash. So we don't do the entire kitchen at once. We don't clean the kitchen like at the same time. We do one thing after the other. And the best you can do is make one. If you want, make a list of all the things that you have to do to clean the kitchen and just start with one, because one leads to the other, leads to the other. So when you're thinking about decluttering your life, think about decluttering your office. Right? This is your workspace. This is where you're supposed to feel healthy, happy, and thriving. So if your workspace that you're supposed to show up and be your best self is cluttered, your mind's going to be cluttered, and your thoughts, your communication is going to be cluttered. And you think I'm kidding? I just said your communication is going to be cluttered. I've been stuttering this whole time. Let me just show you. I've got stacks on stacks on stacks of junk, because my workspace is cluttered. I know that it directly impacts my thoughts because I'm looking at all of this mess the whole time, and I'm trying to keep it together for you guys and be all professional. But just start with one area of your life that you can improve upon. You know, if you're feeling like you need to declutter, start with a physical space. Okay, think about so I have some free yoga classes on my YouTube page. I'm a yoga teacher, you guys. I've been doing it for I've been teaching yoga for longer than I've been teaching, or that I've been doing Younique. And I actually teach yoga teachers how to be teachers. And on my YouTube page, I have several free yoga classes along with some free breathing techniques and a 20-minute guided sleep meditation. I don't collect emails. I don't do anything. I just made those for people that needed how to clear their mind. So it's Marie Triplett Yoga on YouTube. All you gotta do is type in my name and yoga, and it'll pull up all of those free resources for you. So when I'm feeling like I want to declutter, the first place I start is my workstation. And once I get my desk clean, then I make a list. And it allows me to get everything that's swirling in my brain onto paper, because now I've decluttered my thoughts. And now that I've decluttered my space and I've decluttered my thoughts, now I can properly itemize what needs to get done. But the biggest thing that happens is action. You just have to do one of those things, any of those things that I just recommended. Janet, I hope that helps. Good. Does anybody else have any questions? I do need to clean my desk tonight, by the way. Practice what you preach. Joey. Shh. All right, you guys. Well, I think I've kept you on long enough. I truly hope that was. Oh, somebody has a question? No? Okay. So I hope you guys all had a beautiful weekend. I hope this was a nice pick-me-up in the middle of your Sunday that's allowed you to feel more optimistic about 2021. We're going to move into this with healthier relationships with our businesses, healthier relationships with ourselves, healthier relationships with our Y sisters that are in our community. You're welcome to follow me. Like I said, every Monday I do a Monday mantra where I give you a little bit of inspiration that doesn't only apply to your unique business, but to your whole life. And I also wrote this book, Check Up From Your Neck Up. So if you are looking for something to really help you work through and unpack all of those things that you've been struggling with, the book is great. I'm grateful that I got to spend this time with you guys, and I hope you have a beautiful afternoon.